YouTube, so we're not on Facebook either way.
Hello, Facebook and Twitter. Hello, Dregs of Society Twitter.
Hello, Twitch TV. It's saying
it's still spinning. Yeah.
But yeah, I was the first comment, and they commented. They're like, "Of course it'd be first."
Nope. Now we're going.
Oh, hello, everybody.
Hello.
This is the third time you said hello.
The third time you have tried to say first. So now you're
first.
Now you're thirst.
Oh.
I mean, it's thirsty. Almost thirsty Thursday.
It's annoyed Wednesday.
Door, Nicholas.
All right, you ready?
Are we ready?
Yeah.
I feel like I should just shit my pants now. So I could be different.
I mean,
Can that please be the intro?
it's your home. You do what you want.
It's true. It's true.
It's a long way to the bathroom.
It sure is. Sometimes it feels like a really long way. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
On this episode of the Culture Smash Cast,
Netflix, I'm about to give you one piece of my mind.
Disney's making a bunch of new remakes that aren't new.
And Christmas is coming to the Expendables.
perfect.
It's Christmas, Merry Crisis.
It's the Culture Smash Cast, episode 514 for January the 29th, 2020. I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of Culturesmash.tv, and I'm still having trouble with 2020.
I am as well. I'm Nicholas Qualls, contributor to Culturesmash.tv, and still in 2019.
Tina Heimbaugh, I'm living in the future. Contributor to Culturesmash.tv.
So you're
at some point.
You're in 2022, 2023.
I'm 3008. You guys are 2000 and late.
I'm Zach Martin. I live in 6969.
You wish.
Nice.
You really
It's
can't.
nice, let me tell you.
For 15 seconds. All 15 seconds.
No, I'd say for about, 90 seconds? And then after that, I mean, anything over 90, and it's just like, okay, anything else you got going on here?
So, trying to get away from that as quickly
Exactly.
as possible. Movies that came out this weekend? Or is the box office?
Are we doing an opening story, then box office?
Uh,
or
bo-
just-
box office
Just
first.
Box office, then film ball, and then wherever we want to
Yeah.
go from there.
Perfect.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
So, we've got number 10, Knives Out, made $3.5 million out of a total of $151.7 million.
I just want to say, this came out Thanksgiving week, and it's still in the top 10.
That's what I was gonna say. It's still going, and the Blu-ray is not far.
Yeah.
It's about to
Yeah,
come
it's
out.
coming up.
Steelbook. I'm going to get that Steelbook.
Yep. Number 9 is Just Mercy. It made $4 million of a total so far of $27 million.
What's the budget?
We don't know because Box Office Mojo removed that functionality from their website.
Because they suck.
Box Office Mojo.
Mojo, fix it.
Fix it.
So I guess every film is now profitable now.
Yep.
Yeah.
They had a budget of like $1 million.
So I hear that
Yes.
that Just Mercy is actually good, but I feel like I've seen the entire movie in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing left to secret at all.
No, it's also a true story, so there's also that. But you go further, I guess, the performances.
I guess.
All right, number 8, we've got Little Women at $4.6 million. It's made $93.6 million
I
so
just want
far.
to say, there's a lot of false advertisement with this movie.
None of the women are little.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
They're
There's
like
not
30.
a little women. There's a lot of women.
There's a lot of women. That's true.
It was
All the women. It was fine.
It was alright.
Number 7 is Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
It was not alright.
It made $5.5 million out of $501.9 million.
Oh, it finally crossed that. You know, this is the lowest grossing Star Wars film since, what,
Since
early
prequels.
2000s?
All that matters is it won me the film ball. That's all that matters.
It did.
I mean,
Indeed.
I don't blame you in saying that, but
Yep.
still, look at what you got.
Yep, it's true.
Number 6, new this week, is The Turning, which we'll talk about in a bit. $6.9 million, and that's all it's made so far. Number 5 is Jumanji, The Next Level, $7.7 million out of a total so far of making $283.2 million. Number 4, also new this week, The Gentleman. It has made a total so far this weekend at $10.6 million.
Okay.
Number 3 is Doolittle, which did little. At $12.1 million, it has made a total of $44.3 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And didn't we determine that budget was like 175?
It's 175.
Yeah.
Robert, RDJ has to cost at least half of that amount
20.
it's made so far, 20.
So you want to know what's really funny about that movie is I was looking at like a news story about it, And one of the things that they mentioned was, have you noticed in the trailers that Robert Downey Jr. only has a couple of lines in the trailers?
Yeah.
It's mostly action scene, and it's because his accent that he
does
chose
a really bad accent.
is so weird
Yeah.
in the movie. It's kind of terrible.
Number 2, 1917, $15.9 million. It's made $103.9 million. So that did not do little.
You try so
Yeah.
hard.
I wish I got IMAX. I would love to see it.
Like,
Yeah.
the nearest IMAX release for this is seriously in Birmingham.
Yeah. I was going to see it again.
I would not
I'm
go to
not
Birmingham.
I
going
would
to
have gone, but
Birmingham.
I'm not driving 2 hours to see it on a Limax screen.
I was afraid you just said
Birmingham's more like
Limax.
Yes.
3-4
Birmingham's
hours.
like 4
A
hours.
Limax
Yeah.
screen.
Why would you say Limax?
So a Limax is one where it's basically they took a theater, they took the first few rows out. And then
Oh,
just moved
it's just
screen forward.
yeah.
It's not an actual IMAX theater. That's a Limax.
Yeah.
Yeah, Birmingham's 4 hours away.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not driving 4 hours.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But number 1 this week, Bad Boys for Life at $34 million. It's made so far a total of $120.6 million. So we might get some more Bad Boys in the future.
We very well
I
might
just want
get some
Bad
more.
Boys to Men.
Bad Boys to Men would be a great title for the last film.
That would be a good one.
So I know you guys haven't seen Bad Boys yet, so I won't go into too much detail. But
And
I'll
you
just
haven't seen Gentlemen yet, so we can't go into too much
Exactly.
detail.
But we have seen
The Turning.
The
The
Turning.
Turning.
Yeah,
Well,
y'all idiots went and saw that.
so you want to know what the weirdest thing about my experience with The Turning is?
What, that it
Is-
turned your stomach so it lived up to the name?
Not even that, because I had low expectations to begin with. But it's just weird to see Terminator Dark Fate and The Turning so close together because
Yeah.
Mackenzie Davis is the lead in both, and she couldn't have been more opposite a character in this one. And it just was, I don't know why.
I gotta wonder because she's ripped in Terminator.
Yeah.
And
Did she fatten up for this one?
no, I think this was probably filmed older. Like
I think
a
so. I
longer
think it
time
was
ago.
too,
Well,
because she's still, to me, she's skinny in this movie, but not ripped.
Yeah, she's not defined intermuscular.
So y'all have seen Blade Runner 2049, right?
Yeah.
She's the prostitute in that.
She
Yeah.
is. Yep.
Do you? I mean, this almost looks like it was filmed after 2049, but before Terminator.
Yeah, that's what I think. This was filmed first, and because
It just took this long.
because I like Mackenzie Davis. She's also one of the stars in *Halt and Catch Fire*, which is a fantastic series.
And see, I was going to ask about that because I think she's fine as an actress, but for some reason lately she's blowing up. Like I looked her up, and she's got 4 or 5 things coming out this year. Maybe it's *Halt and Catch Fire* that blew her up.
Getting that paycheck, gotta work, man. That show's
Well-
over. You gotta get a job.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't strike me that she's so good. You got to have her in everything, but she's popping up in everything.
But yeah, she is good in those things. But The Turning could not be saved by any of its acting cast because it was badly written, to say
Yeah.
the least.
Yeah.
And this kid, the Stranger Things,
Finn Wolford, yeah.
he can't play anything but that character apparently because
It does feel-
he looked and moved, and in a lot of ways there was acting there that was just that same kid if he was a bad guy, kind of.
Yeah, it was kind of in that
he's the bad
respect.
guy in this?
He's a spoiled brat. He's not a good guy.
Yeah.
Same reaction.
I mean, it
No, we
depends
have-
on.
So-
There's points where, like, watching it, we're like, oh, is he... Spoilers. Is he possessed by the uncle dude or the state holder or whatever, and that's why he's being all rapey,
So,
creepy, or...
Full disclosure, this is all I know about it. Ready?
Mm.
The Spooky Ghost Demon, there's a kid, PG-13 from Blumhouse.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
literally
it's
all I know.
kind of close.
Basically, a girl goes to be a governess. Turns out she uncovers that, like, the person who came before was raped and murdered. The kids are being dicks. The household...
Kids are being dicks.
The
household
maid
lady being
is yeah.
The
is
little
awful.
girl was the best actress in the movie.
Yeah.
She was great. Because I do love a couple of scenes with her. Like the scene they show in the trailer, I like it in the movie where Mackenzie Davis is like, well, you don't have any friends? And she's like, well, now you have one. And she goes, maybe.
Maybe.
She's
Yeah,
so
that was a
cute
good
when
one.
she does
Yeah.
that. Like,
So-
she's really good.
So I have a question. Did you figure out a reason why this was set to be a period piece in the 90s?
No, and I kept thinking about it because
Because they made a big show of, like,
Kurt Cobain.
That's the
being dead.
opening of the movie.
Yeah, it's Kurt Cobain was found dead this morning on his living room couch. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
what's the point of setting it... What is the point of setting it in this time period?
Was there
And-
any period during the film where you're like, why don't they just get on their cell phones? And this
No.
issue would be
well,
solved?
she had a cell phone. She had one of those big blocky ones from the 90s.
I think it was a cordless.
No, that was a house.
Was it a house
It was a house
Yeah.
cordless phone.
But no, there's no reason. And even then, they could have just been like, "Oh, didn't have signal because it's out in the country."
Right.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm tired of that.
But you know what else was weird? Is talking about the period setting. They make a show one point of her having a cassette. And I'm like,
CDs were in.
CDs came out in 1985. That is when CDs came out.
Yeah.
By the early 90s, I had no cassettes.
Well,
That means
she
that
gave a CD to the boys.
I know, but
Yeah.
still, there was a show of it. Anytime you're in a movie and a big prop comes up in the middle of the screen and they open it, there's a show.
I know people that still had cassette players in the early 90s, and especially for people making
When did Kurt Cobain
mixtapes.
die? It was like late 90s.
It was like
That was late
94.
90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this takes place in the late 90s.
No, it was like 94.
No, it was late. It was early '90s that he died.
And not early, but I think you were right. I think it was 94, 95, something
Yeah.
like that, like mid.
So, and I'm pretty sure I remember people.
But yeah, I kept thinking about that too. Why?
So the only thing is, like, the cell phone comment on would this movie have been solved if people did research? Yes, this movie would have been no problem at all had people done research. But they could have done all that stuff without cell phones.
Yeah.
This was all. Mackenzie Davis plays the governess, the live-in tutor to who gets hired on to replace the person as Tina was mentioning. Had she done any sort of research into her job?
She would have found out.
She would have found out this is
A
not a
lot
good
of
place.
stuff, yeah.
Had she gotten on site and actually interviewed with the maid before meeting the children, interviewed the legal guardian of these children first, she would have figured
Yeah,
out
so
this place is
apparently-
bad, so I'm not doing.
Apparently, the governess is supposed to be the legal guardian for the kids now. It's like,
Yeah.
what world makes what? No, that makes no sense.
Well, the whole thing didn't make sense to begin with because she goes out there and I guess the maid has been like responsible for these kids because both of their parents have
Died in a
died.
car crash
So how is
or
this
whatever.
possible?
Yeah.
Did the maid adopt them because she would have had to?
Yeah.
But they would have had to gone to some family. You
Yeah.
don't. This country doesn't leave like 15-year-olds, especially 15-year-olds with millions of dollars,
Yeah.
to just exist with their.
And you had the bit
maid.
about the when the school calls and they hand the governess, they hand Mackenzie Davis's character the phone. The maid does it. It's like, it's your responsibility now.
Right.
And then she flips on that, being like, "Oh, these children are no concern of yours. That doesn't concern."
Yeah.
It's like, yes, it does.
You just
Yeah.
said it did. Yeah.
This
I'm
movie's
supposed to be in charge of these kids.
this-
I say go.
This movie is rife for logical inconsistencies that really just break it down, and then it just devolves into an ending that's nonsense.
There's only one thing that I really, really liked.
The house.
No. Yes. No. The best friend, when she's like, "I don't know if I can do this," and the best friend's like, "Then bail."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and in
That's
fact,
the most realistic expectations. Like,
well, but that
me.
leads to one of the most annoying scenes for me in the movie. So she has this horrible time with the kids, and she leaves and goes all the way to like I guess like
The local town.
yeah, and calls her friend and says, "I can't do it anymore. I'm leaving. I'm done with this." And her friend's like, "Good, come on home. Give me my roommate
And then
back."
she's like,
and then
"No,
halfway
I
through the
can't
conversation,
do
she's
it."
like, "No, I'm not leaving." I'm like, you didn't even show any mental struggle over the decision
Yeah.
to leave.
Yeah.
It's just like she just turned.
Yeah, no, the writing's awful.
Is this a fuck you, it's January movie?
It
Yes.
is the most
Very
definitely
much
that.
so.
Yeah.
It's a fuck you. This is just a movie that you shouldn't watch.
Hopefully our audience knows what fuck you, it's January is. but-
Yeah, we've discussed it before.
And
Bad
the
movies-
thing is,
bad
there's
movies come out in January.
Creepiness to it. There's no like actual scares.
Well, it's spooky
they do
demon,
like one
but
or two
automatically
pop
it's not
scares, and
scary.
that's it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, since we're spoiling anyway, let's talk about the ending. So
Okay.
Oh my
there is an ending.
Oh my
just to look, I'm gonna look up the ending just to see what y'all are talking.
So there is an ending. It ends. It ends, and the ending is not good, but it's expected. It's kind of like what you think is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then cut back to the middle of
Yeah,
the last
it goes-
act.
Cut back like
That is
15
what it
minutes.
kidding me with this?
Yeah, cut back about
What?
15 minutes prior.
Yeah.
And then you rewatch the whole thing again with a different stopping point, which is, I wish I had seen this with a crowd, because when I was in there was only a few other people and there was no reaction.
It was
but
me and him and like another couple up back. That was
I
it.
really would like to see it with the crowd, because I guarantee you people would have lost their minds, because
We did.
on the second ending it just stops.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Like,
oh,
the
she's
mom-
scared.
the mom
Stop.
turns
Credits.
to her. You don't see the mom's face. The mom turns to her. She goes, ah, and then it ends.
Cut. Yeah.
Well, that's even worse than what this is saying.
I started laughing at the
Even
credits.
our immediate reaction, we both in stereo just go, "What?"
Yeah.
I just bust out laughing. And I think the reason I started laughing is because the whole reason I went to see this movie is because of your text. When you were like, very seldom do Nico and I see a movie where we both go, what the fuck? And I was like,
At the same
okay,
time.
well then now I got to go see it. Now I got to see what that was about. And when it happened, I just bust out laughing. I was like, God, what did I just see?
And okay, so they do this.
$12 down the drain.
No, unlimited.
Regal
Unlimited.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much was that Uber?
Oh, it wasn't. I got dropped off. Yeah.
No, so
And we saw the
credits-
gentleman afterwards, so we were fine.
Yeah. Oh, that was such a great palate cleanser. But they do this ending credits bit where, as the credits are scrolling, it's just her like doing hands as she's walking down the hall.
Which looks cool.
It looks cool, but we're expecting, I don't know, resolution.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
expecting this to resolve
Blumhouse
plot.
movie?
I mean,
Sorry,
I've seen some Blumhouse movies that were better, but this...
Blumhouse has this really awful reputation.
Well, because
as being cheap horror.
And it's because 2/3 of their movies suck. I mean, when you do get a good one, it's like, shocker. But you know what I will say? As bad as this movie is, I'd rather watch it than Underwater.
Oh.
Yeah. Rather watch it than Underwater. Because the one thing about this movie is, and this is where I will give some credit, is with that ending, is it was a failure. Okay, the ending fails. It doesn't work. But the director, the woman, her name I didn't recognize. I don't know what else she's done. But she tried. She was trying for something different. She was trying to do something different than the other dozen, film adaptations of the same story. It didn't work, but I give her credit. She did try.
I wanted to see what would actually happen. Like, I wanted to have some kind of, I don't know, explanation or maybe like a trick as to why the little girl was so scared to go beyond the fence, other than, oh, that's where my parents died.
Yeah.
But like if they did like a American Horror Story season 1 where she drives out with the little girl and all of a sudden the little girl's on the other side of the fence, be like, oh, I've been dead all along.
Yeah.
I can't leave the property.
And that's what I anticipated it would be, was something like that.
So this director, she's done a lot of music videos and has just started to get into TV, but really she's done like The Runaways, and then
I like The Runaways.
she's done 1 episode of Daredevil and 2 episodes of Handmaid's Tale.
Okay, well, there's
And
good
then
stuff
this
in
is
there.
really, I mean, for the first time in 10 years, her second film.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of music video, which
I
is
could
fine.
put I can give somebody like they're trying something, and I know what they were trying to do with the movie, but you're right, it fails. It's just bad.
Well, because they were trying to they wanted you to step out with a question.
Yeah.
They wanted you to step out wondering, was she literally just going crazy in her head like her mother, or was there actually...
And they didn't
A good
pose that
situation.
question early enough. They didn't,
And it wasn't posed properly at the end.
Yeah.
And the only lead up we get to that question is like 1 or 2 little scenes or dialogue bits. It's like you did not establish a good enough foundation for me to leave the theater with that question.
And they also kind of try to make you look back at it when they cut and make you rewatch the last act again, because that cut is sort of a push or a pull out from some of the mother's artwork.
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, oh, you're supposed to be kind of in that woman's head. Maybe it's like a hereditary craziness thing, whatever. But you're doing a lot of the director's work for her to get to that space, because she did not do it well. It's a bad movie.
This is the second film in 2020 to receive a F from Cinema Score.
Well, that is...
First being The Grudge.
Oh, what?
I did not see The Grudge. Oh, I guess they didn't see Underwater, because I'm telling you, I've seen some positive reviews of Underwater, but that movie's trash.
I mean, then again, they gave an F to Mother on Cinema Score. So
Well, see, so I don't trust Cinema Score, because Mother is
they gave like
awesome.
50 Shades of Grey like a B, which I will.
You have discredited yourself.
I'd rather shove this up my ass than ever have to watch that movie again.
But if you
Yeah.
want to watch something else this weekend,
Well,
please.
quickly though, I do want to just say 1 or 2 little things about Bad Boys without spoiling, and I'd
Sure,
like to hear
sure.
a couple little
Did they
things about the
talk
gentleman.
about the anonymous hacker known as 4chan.
I'm not going to
The
go.
answer is yes.
I'm not going to go into plot
The answer is
points
yes.
because, on a side note, I want to thank you for spoiling the Stephen King show that's on HBO for me right now, and we'll get to
did?
that later. Yes, because you told me what KJ said, who has read the books.
She hasn't read the books.
Well,
she says, she's read a lot of Stephen King. She goes,
Oh, The
is
Outsiders?
this?
Yeah, it's actually really good.
I'm not even caught up, and I don't even know.
Well, what you said feels
Well, blame KJ then.
but you shared it.
I didn't know.
Well, anyway, So, Bad Boys.
What do you want from me?
It's actually really good. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't anticipate it being...
Yeah, because this is the second property that's been taken away from Michael Bay, and then
Well,
proven that
but then
it
let
can work.
me get to the point though.
Yeah.
Is these two guys, because that gets to the only real issue I kind of have with the movie is you could tell it's two guys that directed it together. You can tell they grew up on Michael Bay movies,
Yeah.
and they do their very, very, very best to riff on Michael Bay's look and
a
style.
style.
I know, but it feels a little plastic to me. Like, even when Michael Bay's movie sucks, this is him. This is the way he makes movies. You either like it or you don't. And it feels like these two guys are trying to be him rather than be kind of themselves in a way. Mm-hmm. But it's complicated because if they had gone too far in a different direction, it wouldn't have felt like Bad Boys. So what's the right thing to do? I mean, so that's a minor complaint. What I will say, though, is Will Smith and Martin Lawrence feel like they've never stopped playing these roles because their chemistry is so good. There's some really drop-dead hilarious stuff in this movie. If you like the first two, you're going to love this one. It's really good.
What if I didn't like the first two?
Then you should not bother.
Because fuck you. It's January.
I liked the first two quite a lot.
I think they're awful. I think they're probably the best Michael Bay has done. But
What?
I think they're bad.
Oh, I'd have to look through because I disagree
think
with
The Rock
that.
is probably the best thing Michael Bay has done.
The Rock is the best
I think
Michael Bay
Bad
movie.
Boys too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
A little bit about the gentleman without
Yeah.
being spoilery.
Yeah.
I think the performances in this are fantastic.
It's got an all-star cast, and they put in all-star performances.
Yeah.
Hugh Grant, in particular, is
Hugh
very
Grant's one of my
good.
favorite characters in this entire movie.
It's
I
very-
love Colin Farrell.
Colin
in it.
Farrell's great.
he needs to do something good again.
Yeah, which I felt like the characters were very organic and react how people in those situations would actually react. So, and the Queen is, I aspire to be.
Michelle Dockery.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really.
I
Matthew
aspire to
McConaughey
be
was
that
fine.
level of badassery.
Yeah, they were all really good. It's Guy Ritchie doing what he does best. That kind of like Cockney accent, crime drama kind of thing.
It's good that
exactly
he's
what it
getting
is.
back to what he does.
I guess after working with Disney for Aladdin, he just really needed a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
Well, he needed to do something good. I mean,
I like that he brought back Charlie Hunnam because he worked with Charlie Hunnam
Yeah.
on King Arthur, which bombed. But I like
he did do that
Yeah.
movie too.
wow.
and
I didn't remember that.
Oof.
but Charlie Hunnam does a really good performance
Yeah.
in here too, and yeah, it's just altogether a fun movie.
It was
Cool.
a really good movie. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
So what do we got coming out this weekend? I don't have the script for it.
Gretel and Hansel, which does not have a rating yet.
Yep.
The Rhythm section, which is at a sad 43% right
I
now,
wanted that movie to be good,
and The Assistant, which is at 84%.
and I don't know anything about that one.
I've seen trailers for it, but I don't know other. It's like a temp worker or some new hire assistant comes in, and just basically the horror of office life. I think
That sounds like a horror movie.
It's not like an actual horror movie, but some psychological movie.
Oh, this. Yeah, I saw a trailer for this when we went to see Parasite. It's basically like she works as a secretary in this toxic male environment sort of thing. One day in the life of this girl who's like got her dream job, and it's like it's one of those psychological woke
Well,
movies.
there's so many of those coming out this year.
I know.
There's so many. Like I can't go to the theater and not see the trailer for that movie about the blonde girl who used to be a medical student, but you know what I'm talking about, and she ends up
yeah.
just going to bars and tricking guys into trying to have sex with her, and then
Yeah.
I have not
blackmailing
seen-
them.
No, I haven't heard of this.
I've seen the
man.
trailer like a
I haven't
dozen
seen it.
times.
I haven't been to the movies in like over a month because we're in January.
Say,
And the movie I do go and see, it didn't show those trailers because apparently someone saw animation or an anime and thought kids movies, even though the movie itself is PG-13.
yeah.
Well, this movie isn't a PG-13 movie that the trailers are for. So who's that?
Not in the slightest. So let's do a brief update on our latest film ball.
Let's do that.
First film ball of 2020 shows Nico at number 1 with 117.
You starting
You're
You're
on straight. It's not staying there.
Number 2 is Sarah with that Bad Boys money with 86.6 million. Hector's at number 3 with 41.5 million. Steven, you're at number 4 with 20.4 million.
I don't even know what I have out right now. I don't know what it is.
You have out. You have out The Grudge. That's all Grudge money.
Oh, Grudge money.
F on Cinema
Yeah,
Square.
Nathan
I'm
comes
going in
in
with a grudge.
at number 5 with 14.7, and then Hector Jr., me, and Zach with a big old beautiful goose egg.
Hey,
Big
we're gonna
ol'.
be like getting over it with Bennett Claudy. We're gonna get at that.
Playing the late game.
Wow.
All
And
right.
that is the film ball.
That's a film ball.
All right, so now the first story. Zach, you're up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, way to be prepared as
Well, excuse
usual,
me.
sir.
So, previously rumored, it is now official. Oscar-winning filmmaker Robert Zemeckis will direct and co-write Disney's live-action remake of the animated classic Pinocchio. The original 1940 Disney film follows a wooden puppet. Everybody knows Pinocchio. Nobody needs to know that. Zemeckis and Chris Weitz will co-write the next draft, and things are moving hastily along with production potentially kicking off by the year's end. Disney has multiple dates set aside for untitled live-action features throughout 2021 to 2023, so the film could open up in any one of those. Next one to hit is Mulan on March 27th.
This sounds like a terrible idea.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean,
How many versions not associated with Disney of Pinocchio have we gotten?
I actually don't know the answer.
Do
to
y'all
that.
remember
I
the
mean,
Jonathan
wow.
Taylor Thomas
Yes.
Pinocchio?
Yes.
That seems vaguely familiar.
I remember going to see it.
I'd rather just watch
Because I had such a huge crush. I was like, Mom, let's go see the boy from Home Improvement.
Wasn't that just called Geppetto?
Yeah, I
That
think that
seems
was. Yeah, because
accurate.
it was like focused a lot on their relationship.
Yeah.
The
I
only
saw it.
The only movie like that I would want to watch is maybe like Roxanne. Was it the Steve Martin movie where he had the nose? Was it called Roxanne? Which it wasn't even Pinocchio. He just had like.
Wasn't that more of oh, what's the guy's name? The play where
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Bananas.
that's
You
not
could do it, Tina. You could do it. Oh, anyway, I think the only good-looking Disney live-action thing is Mulan. It actually looks like it's going to be good.
That is
it's
one
not
of them.
overusing CGI, or if it is, I mean, I can't.
Well,
tell.
I mean, they're doing it in that sort of. I'm sure there's a lot of CGI tied to the wire food type of.
Which is
but
fine.
it-
That's
it's-
fine.
it's also the-
Cyrano.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
That's it, yeah.
That's it.
Bergerac.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, well, that's the genre of movie that is Zapin, which is great. Yeah, I know because they're trying to do Pinocchio. They're also trying to do a live action Bambi, kind of in the vein of Lion King. Although I really hope,
That is an awful idea.
I really hope
Do
They
we
need
not
to have-
they
learn
need to bring
from, like,
they need to bring back Luke Evans, who
As
did
the hunter.
so because
As Gaston the
so
hunter?
so the fan theory is that the hunter from Bambi is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
That's-
And the theory is because like the brief silhouette that you kind of see of the hunter, he's wearing red, but then also when we get to the Beauty and the Beast,
I
you
would
see
almost buy a ticket. if
you see
that was the case.
yeah, you see Gaston's like lodge, and it's got you see the
Deer everywhere.
yeah, the antlers, and it's like, did Gaston kill Bambi's mom?
Disney Cinematic Universe.
I was gonna say,
if
you
they could
know,
all tie in, just like I mean,
Small
seriously,
little bits.
small. It doesn't have to be big things. That would be kind of cool.
If only Samuel L. Jackson
would it?
came in at the end
I mean,
of Maleficent.
It doesn't have to tie in from one to one, but a situation like that,
Yeah.
or like in Frozen with the parents from Tarzan being the thing.
Which has
Which-
now been disproven.
It's been
Yeah.
disproven, but
But it was a cool.
But it was a
it was a
Great-
cool theory,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think it would have been neat for them never to have addressed it.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. I haven't seen Frozen 2, so I guess that gets
Well,
debunked.
they
They get
Yeah.
heavily debunked. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, it is no longer possible.
Boy, all I know is I wish Disney Movie Club would stop trying to push that Frozen 2 Blu-ray on me because
You want that Frozen 2 4K Ultimate Collector's Edition.
no, I don't.
I love how the regular version is the Ultimate Collector's version.
Yeah. So it's like first I got an email offering it to me for my featured movie, and I turned it down. Then I got an email offering it to me as my featured movie with a discount on a second movie, and I turned it down. Then I got it offered to me as my featured movie with a discounted movie and then a free Frozen 2 lithograph, and I turned that down. It's like they keep upping the offer, and I just keep saying no. I'm like,
A steelbook of
I was
Right?
gonna say, are you saving yourself for that Frozen 2 steelbook?
well, hey, I got the Frozen 1 steelbook. I might as well have the pair.
I mean, you can pre-order it right now on Best Buy.
I'm not that interested. To be honest with you, I don't know. I just lost my interest for the whole Frozen thing. The first one was good, but
It had good trailers, mostly good trailers at least, and then it came out, and I didn't care anymore.
yeah,
Same thing with Lego Movie. Same thing with It Chapter 2. It's like,
Yep.
I don't care anymore. The hype train just didn't pull into the train.
I mean, in Chapter 2, I already had automatic buy-in because it wasn't like the other franchise was like, oh yeah, after it's announced there's a sequel. It's like, no, there had to be a sequel to it. And that's
the story wasn't completed.
It's like that came out right at the same time as Ready or Not, and everybody was like, go see Ready or Not.
In fact, that's what I told you. You asked me, and I'm like, go see Ready or Not.
That's fair. That's a fair opinion, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I feel you with like Lego Movie. I'm the same way. I love Lego 1, and I have no interest in 2.
I haven't seen it.
And same thing with Frozen. Like the trailers were good enough for me. Like Lego 2 did not have good trailers.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
the Frozen 2 had decent trailers. It looked like it was going to be a bit more of a kind of darker action fantasy tale,
Mm-hmm.
Which it kind of was.
Kind of was, not to the extent that I was hoping, but it was okay. And it had a couple of songs. One song I love.
Yeah.
But
not the one nominated for an Oscar.
No, not the one nominated for an Oscar, sadly.
The Queen's 80 montage in the woods.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Lost in the Woods.
I'll tell you what, when it comes to Disney Plus, I'll check it out.
Yeah, totally. That's fine.
Kind of like Lion King and Aladdin are now up there. It's like
I was going to say they're up there.
Yeah, we actually watched Aladdin
yeah.
finally.
I will
How was it?
on just
We
to say
enjoyed
I
it.
It's okay.
Was it okay?
Yeah.
I'm glad they finally gave Jasmine her own freaking song.
Yeah. Yeah, odd Disney trivia, which I had read just before accidentally watching this movie. Not accidentally. It's just I was not timed.
Yeah.
But Jasmine is the only Disney princess to not have her own solo song,
Really?
and this movie tries to attempt to fix that by giving her a solo song.
Okay. I mean, I've heard that too since it came out on home video. I've heard more reasonable reviews that say that's fine.
I will say I
I'm
like.
just trying to say, like, what about this person? I go, no.
Not a princess,
no.
or yeah.
No.
I will say I like Will Smith's play on the genie. They make it a bit more human, and I like that aspect.
And he's not Robert Williams. He's not trying
and he doesn't
to.
try to be.
Well, and that I heard some complaints about that too, and that Will Smith kind of brought his own sort of more urban style to it, and that's fine. He should. That's what he does.
I was
That's what
fine
he
with
does.
He was never going to be Robin Williams.
Like everyone else was boring. He was not boring, but everyone else is
Cardboard.
Compared to him. Like he is the big deal.
And honestly, I like his story and how that plays out.
You know what? It's funny.
The genie has more of a story.
Okay. So I feel like Will Smith has the sort of Tom Cruise syndrome of 10 years ago, where people are hating on him unfairly. They hate on him instead of the movie that he chose to do.
Yeah.
Because Will Smith is fine. He just made some mistakes for, I don't know, a good 5 years of doing bad films, starting with After Earth.
Well,
You know?
I think it's
before that.
It was
kinda
before that, but After
that,
Earth, I think, was the bottom of the bucket.
Earth was like
but
the definition of why.
But the problem with After Earth is that it was a personal project. It was. It wasn't just like he got hired on to do this job. Like he invested himself into it.
Well, he wasn't an executive producer, and it was supposed
He co-wrote.
Yeah, he co-wrote. So
Yeah.
it
And
was
he
supposed to be
cast
a
his
thing
own
for
son.
his son.
It was supposed to be a vehicle for his son.
Yeah, and it bombed, and it is kind of hard to recover because it's not just like, oh yeah, you took a paycheck for a bad movie. You produced this and wrote this and created this project.
And maybe that's right. He did some other bad movies that led into that, and then that movie was
What,
sort of...
7 pounds didn't do it for you? What about that Christmas movie where he's like some sort of demon or whatnot? I forgot what he was even called.
Oh, and what was that
I
one
don't
about
remember that one.
the colors or something? That, like, what was it? I don't know. It was like
Oh my gosh, what was that?
You know what I'm talking about?
Stupid ass movie.
Yeah. where he's like he's a ghost or something in that
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, it looked awful. I didn't even see it. But yeah, it
like
took Tom
Pursuit
Cruise
of
5
Happiness.
sci-fi movies to
Pursuit
recover
of
from it.
Happiness is fine. It's a fine kind of
Happiness was like
family feel good movie.
2007.
Yeah.
I'm saying like 2009 to now.
Yeah.
So I think he's getting. I think you're right, Steve, to make the Tom Cruise analogy because there was a stint where he was not really getting anything good and not producing anything good, except
Winter's Tale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Concussion, Collateral Beauty.
Collateral Beauty, that's the one.
How about Suicide Squad? That was good, right?
I mean, it won an Academy
won.
Award.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And what I will say, and the one thing about Suicide Squad is
He's good in it.
he was all right, you know. But yeah, I feel like he's gonna have
the movie Focus.
But I feel like he's gonna have to do like 5 good sci-fi movies now. The way Tom Cruise to recover,
I think that's fine.
and maybe Bad Boys is a start
yeah.
because it's actually really good.
I mean, the one thing I like about Tom Cruise is it's like he's coming out with an action movie. It's like, all right, it's going to be some of the best action.
Yeah.
It's like, look at the
Watch-
He is actually going to be hanging off of that airplane.
It's going to be.
Watch
Yeah.
me sprain my ankle doing
Exactly.
Help me break my ankle.
I love seeing that scene, knowing the reality of it, because you can see it.
So much worse, and he finished the take.
And that's the funny part is you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, well they give him he could have had 6 months to recover and then reshot that. No, that's the same day, and we know from the bonus features he just got up from that and finished the run. That's bad.
Well, he hobbled off camera, and you could tell he's hobbling.
Mm-hmm.
He could have just hung there and said, "Guys, help!" Mm-hmm. No, he finished the shot.
He finished the shot. But I think Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves right now are like the sole owners of the action genre now. If we didn't have them, we'd be in trouble. Anyway, we got another story?
All right, speaking of action movies.
Yeah, perfect.
The Expendables is trying to make a spin-off series, or maybe just shift away its star, going more towards one of the original stars of the cast, Jason Statham. Currently reporting in development a fourth movie. In the summer of 2010, for a history lesson, Sylvester Stallone started a brand new action franchise called The Expendables. About a group of mercenaries led by Stallone, and also featured a host of other legendary action stars, such as Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Dolph Lundgren, an homage to 80s action films that some of these, but not all of them, Statham was not an 80s action star, but the stuff that they got their name in, made $274 million worldwide. So, of course, that went to a
lot of
sequel.
money for an action film like that.
Led to even more successful sequel, which also included Jean-Claude Van Damme and Chuck Norris.
Yeah,
Which arguably is the better of the two, the first
I
two.
could not take it seriously once I heard Chuck Norris make a Chuck Norris joke.
Yeah, that was...
Which, granted, this movie isn't one that you take seriously.
Yeah,
anyway,
it was-
But I was like, really? We're going that route? Okay.
Expendables 2 made $314 million worldwide, while unfortunately the very lackluster Expendables 3 in 2014 made $100 million less than that at 214.
Why?
Yeah,
Well, he has it
pretty well panned for the franchise. Stallone did say he was going to back out, but however, he stated back in July that he's working up on an Expendables 4. Website The Illuminati has reported that the fourth installment will be a spin-off called The Expendables: A Christmas Story. Christmas being the last name of Jason Statham's character in the franchise.
I had no idea that.
Saying that Jason Statham's character will move into center stage. Stallone will supposedly still be in the movie in a decent amount, but the idea is to shift it towards Jason Statham's character, Lee Christmas.
So I feel like here's the first thing I think is that title. I actually think is probably a working script title. I
think
bet
so,
you
too.
that's not what it's called, but that shift makes sense. And that article goes on to talk about how Stallone is wrapping up a lot of his characters. I don't know. I feel it's weird. It's weird and kind of sad.
The
It
last
feels
time
like
he wrapped up a character, though, didn't end well.
It didn't. But I feel like Stallone is preparing, himself to be taken behind the barn. So he's like killing off all of his characters because he's an old man and whatever. I think he's going to kill himself off in this movie too, because what they say as far as what's known about the plot so far is he's in it in few scenes, but his impact of his character is felt throughout the film.
Yeah.
That feels like he
feels like a death. Yeah,
he gets killed, and Jason Statham goes to get revenge on whoever did it.
That's an Obi-Wan situation right there.
And and if that was the case, I would be great with that.
Yeah.
I would be fine with
This
that.
is a badass death. You got to go out the way
gotta
the
go out like a
Expendables
badass.
franchise is.
Yeah.
But I kind of like when I was reading that story, I kind of felt like I was hoping it would like lean into Christmas a little bit, like Die Hard.
I hope so too, and it could still do it.
Yeah.
We don't know when the movie's actually going to come out. It should shoot for Christmas. It should be Christmas.
I agree.
I agree. It needs to embrace
Own
it
the whole
wholeheartedly.
thing. Now, I actually
Years
It
from
comes out
now.
like November 1st.
perfect.
Oh God.
Years from now, I need it to be a marathon of Die Hard and Expendables 4.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And
The problem is you're going up against Die Hard.
Ah,
So you're setting yourself up for failure. One of the greatest.
No.
No, not comparing. Just saying. Like,
You
I
watch
need another
Expendables
action-
first, and then you build up to Die Hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need.
Yeah.
I need my Christmas to be filled with actiony or
Explosions.
Not, yeah.
Well, the other thing about this movie is they have to get back to what made the first two good, and that was first and foremost being a rated R action movie.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, and Stallone, and it's in the article too, but he said it on a bunch of occasions that he regrets studio influence convincing him to roll back to a PG-13 for the third one. And it was so watered down.
If it's a PG-13, you've just alienated your core audience, and now you have all these kids that they didn't grow up with these movies.
So they don't care about the characters.
Yeah,
and
now nobody wants.
And not only that, Expendables 3 would try to be two different movies.
Yeah,
it did that. It did the same thing that the second one did, and the first one had the old guys, and the second one introduces more of the old guys you were familiar with. And the third one also did that with Wesley Snipes, with Wesley Snipes and Antonio Banderas. They were great, but then it also was like, no, we gotta flip out the old guys again and bring in all these new characters that no one cared about.
That was where it
failed.
That
was the death knell.
Yeah.
And I felt like what he was hoping to do was to bring in some younger people to keep the franchise going, but that wasn't the way to do it. The way to do it is to end your trilogy and do a fourth film with only a couple of the old guys. Training new guys and working with them. It's too many characters.
Give me 5 of the most badass motherfuckers of the genre.
Yeah,
and have them. I mean, be it simple, be it a small thing. It doesn't have to be this giant. We gotta save a whole city. Thing. It's just I want to take out this.
We were on vacation and we got mixed up with the drug lord.
They just realized they just fucked with the wrong set of guys.
I don't think. The Expendables franchise isn't the franchise to introduce people.
Yeah.
It is the varsity team. Yeah. It is. You need to work and get your chops in other action movies before you can be in an Expendables.
Well, and the fact is, if the franchise kept going, there would be older guys to come in there. Eventually, Keanu Reeves would be ready to do it. Yeah. I mean, he's already in his 50s. I mean, people forget that. So, I mean, he's
never going to die.
Another 10 years, he will be ready for the Expendables, and he could carry a spot that obviously
he would just be John Wick, though,
and that will be fine.
No, don't on the poster. Just say John Wick. Don't say Keanu Reeves. Just say John Wick.
John Wick, starring John Wick,
with special guests.
With special guest Keanu Reeves.
Exactly.
No. Just keep John Wick.
No. John Wick is the star. I think Keanu Reeves is the guest star.
Yeah.
John Wick 5, The Expendables.
There you go. John Wick 5, guest starring.
So, I mean, just between you and me, who would win in a fight?
Between him.
John Wick and The Expendables?
John Wick versus The Expendables. Put them all up in there.
I gotta give it to Johnny.
I think I gotta go John Wick on this,
John Wick would tear ass.
But I think I don't know. I think Christmas is pretty badass. But
It depends on how much
it'd be a good fight.
you allow for the Expendables to have.
They both have 24 hours.
No, I gotta give it to John Wick.
Yeah, John Wick's got access. He goes to the sommelier, gets everything he needs.
Yeah, and he has full access to Continental.
Yeah.
Oh, John Wick wins
because
where is the fight? Where is the fight too?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go the airplane tarmac from Civil War.
That's in Germany.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
it's neutral ground though. It's neutral ground.
Yeah, they've all fought in international places.
Yeah, that open, but sort of enclosed in areas.
Because this is what happens. John Wick will get his butt whipped, but he'll run to the Continental, recover, and come back and finish the job.
I don't know how well he's going to do in just like open area.
Exactly.
I think
he would snipe 5 of them before they realize.
Yeah, he would have to have like snipe. No, he'd have to. Willem Dafoe would come back and snipe him.
Let me help you with that. No, he's dead.
He did take a pretty.
I mean,
I got.
We want to look at who everyone who looked like they died in 3.
I got a way to solve this.
Okay.
So this is John Wick when he was still in the service, and he has to do the impossible task.
This is the impossible task
of taking out the Expendables.
That's how he gets out.
That's how he has to get the mark.
But he has to do it with a pencil.
He does.
He kills one of them with a pencil. Who?
Stallone.
That's how he goes. That's how he goes. That's it. Pencil to the eye.
Hollywood, if you're listening,
that's it.
We have made your movie for you.
So it's actually a John Wick prequel.
Yes.
I'm down with that.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
All
right. He's got the next story.
Tina.
This went a crazy direction, but it's good direction.
Great.
I'm fine with that.
So Netflix has greenlighted One Piece, a live-action series based on one of the best-selling manga titles of all time. The 10-episode series comes from Tomorrow Studios and Shueisha. I have no idea if I pronounced that right.
Sounds pretty close.
Tomorrow Studios is also behind another live-action Netflix series adaptation of a classic manga property, the upcoming Cowboy Bebop. One Piece follows the adventures of Monkey D. Luffy and his pirate crew as they explore a fantastical world of endless oceans and exotic islands in search of the world's ultimate treasure known as One Piece to become the next pirate king. Veteran Stephen Maida, who did Lost and the X-Files, is the writer, showrunner, executive producer. Matt Owens did Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Luke Cage. He's the writer and executive producer. Marty Adelstein and Becky Clements of Tomorrow Studios, who are working on Cowboy Bebop. They did Snowpiercer and Hannah, are executive producers alongside Ichiro Oda, who is the author of the manga series. One Piece is a co-production between Netflix and Tomorrow Studios. Netflix will handle physical production, whereas Tomorrow Studios will handle everything else. In 1997, Oda's wildly popular story was first serialized in Weekly Shonen Jump. It has sold over 460 million copies worldwide. The series has made history in 2015, obtaining the Guinness World Record title for having the most copies published for the same comic book series by a single author.
Okay, so here's my 2 pennies about this. This is all going to hinge on how Cowboy Bebop comes out.
Yeah.
Which is...
Now, is Cowboy Bebop going to be a movie or...
It's a series. It's a short series.
Because I think a series does make more sense for Cowboy Bebop.
It does,
series.
but we still also have to... production got held up a bit because John Cho got injured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that.
So, I mean, because of the abortion known as Death Note
Ugh.
happened.
Why did you mention that?
Death Note. Oh,
If they mess up Cowboy Bebop, this is over.
One Piece has no chance.
This is over
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
it even begins.
And if they mess up Cowboy Bebop,
How do you mess up Cowboy Bebop?
like so many
How?
people I know, if you mess up Cowboy Bebop, they will not watch Netflix ever again in their entire lives,
I mean,
just out of pure spite.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
it's like messing up The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
my
It's like
Which they also get a chance to do.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but
It's
then
already
again,
been done before.
I'm never going to watch another M. Night Shyamalan film.
Well, it's not Shyamalan doing it.
Well,
It doesn't matter.
I'm saying
Oh, okay.
he did
I got you.
that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
you guys know One Piece because I don't know anything
Yes.
about it.
Yeah.
I know One Piece.
Do you? I mean, it's
I'm not near.
It's a very fantasy kind of pirate story
It is
of superpowers.
hundreds and hundreds of episodes long. I am not near as caught up as I need to be.
It's super long. It's been going on for like 20 years.
But
Oh my gosh.
I think last I checked, it was in the 700s, 800s.
No,
I'll give you
it's
that.
time to close up that shop.
No,
Wow.
I mean, I know Case Closed went over like 1,000 episodes.
909.
909. There you go.
909.
That's just how
Time to
far
close
behind.
shop.
Wow.
Now the anime series does have a lot of fillers, but
does,
the
yeah.
manga series is still also ongoing.
Yeah.
Which is why the anime series gets a lot of fillers because it keeps having to slow down and let the anime and the manga catch
And
up.
that's
and
not even
yada.
counting all the
Movies.
That's
Yep.
This has just
not-
been my problem with anime. It seems like over the last 20 years, though. One Piece could actually
This
be
has
really-
been the one for the 20 years.
Yeah, but I mean, to the
This
point
is
though.
not the standard of anime. This is a phenomenon.
Well, no, but this is. I'm getting to a specific issue that I have with anime of the last 20 years or so. Trying to pick things to watch is titles are weird and titles are not good. Like when you tell me
Yeah.
One Piece, I just think, oh, is it a porn? Because it's the first thing I think. And you're just getting One
Then
Piece.
again,
There are
that's all you.
scantily clad
Yeah.
women in it.
I mean, it's just like.
Nico Ramen has boobs out to here. I'm just.
But
saying.
it's just they're so poorly titled. If you're coming in cold, you don't even know what
It
it
is.
is. It
It's
sounds
a-
like something you
Yeah.
don't want to watch.
Well, the advantage that One Piece has is that it
Attack on
releases.
Titan's a good name.
That's a good name.
Yeah, that's a good name, and it's a good show.
Yeah.
But One Piece is released in Shonen Jump, so it's in a magazine that's an anthology of comic series. So you don't necessarily have to judge something by the title because you just get a book that has a variety of different stories in it.
Okay.
Could I just jump into the middle of the show and just have one piece of the
Can I just have
of the show?
one piece of the show?
You could have one piece of the show if you jump
Okay.
in, not the one piece, just a one.
Hey,
If I wanted multiple pieces, would I be greedy?
Yes,
probably.
but that's okay.
But no, I much respect a show that has we're going to do 20 episodes and that's it.
Yeah.
It's like, I wish there was more, guys, but you nailed it. We're going to have 900 episodes. No, thank you.
Man, there
It's a lot.
is so little stuff that they get to in the first 20 episodes. I mean, they cover stuff in the first 20 episodes, but basically the whole premise of the show is
I mean, I'm not in elementary school anymore. DBZ had 100 episodes?
more.
God,
Yeah.
serious?
Yes, and they also came back and produced like another 100 and something more
Yeah.
over the last like 3 or 4 years. So the premise of One Piece is you have this kid named Luffy. Weird name, I know. He
First
is
name Monkey.
Monkey D. Luffy is the full name. He is obsessed with piracy. He likes the adventure and sailing and stuff. He got inspired by a pirate that visited his coastal village when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. He accidentally got this superpower. There are these magic fruit that people can eat that will give you a mysterious superpower. His is...
The gum fruit.
He basically becomes Mr. Fantastic. He's all rubber, or a better Plastic Man. Plastic Man's a great... He could stretch his body all around, all different ways.
But
he can't swim anymore.
Can't swim.
Yeah, when you
immediately sink.
Anyone who eats these fruit lose the ability to swim, which if you're a pirate on, the high seas, that's not great.
Yeah.
And
But he's in search of Blackbeard's treasure, which is called One Piece, and it's supposed to be whoever finds One Piece gets the treasure. It's an immense treasure and becomes known as the Pirate King.
Yeah, which is what he wants
to do.
And he starts amassing a crew. So the first story, he has him doing his first solo piracy adventure. And then the next one, he gets his first crewmate. And the next one, he gets another crewmate. And he gets more and more crew.
Some of the stories are really heart-wrenching.
Yeah, there's some really emotional details and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah. But it does go on and it drags on a bit. So I'm kind of interested on what Netflix would choose to cover.
It's like, so we have 900 episodes. Let's say, and be generous, say 600 of those are filler. I don't have time for 200 episodes.
You mean 200 are filler?
Oh,
and 600
excuse me.
Yeah,
I don't have time for 300 episodes.
No, he's saying if 600 were filler, that still leaves 300 episodes.
Yeah.
Either way,
that's a lot.
It's a lot of episodes. It's not really. I mean, and this is kind of the opportunity of the live action show, though, because if you haven't been on the show like for years now, you're going to be super behind. Yeah. But you can start here.
But also when you say you don't have time for it, that's just a weird sort of cultural thing that's happening now. Yeah. Because just because there's 900 episodes out there doesn't mean you have to see them all now. And also you watch here and there till you get done. It might take you 10 years to watch them all, but who cares?
And also doesn't mean necessarily you have to start at the beginning.
Okay, I don't have 95 days to watch. No, wait, that's not math. That's not. I was going to say 95 hours.
But yeah, you also
95 hours is really not that much.
Yeah, but you also don't have to necessarily.
It's only 100 episodes. So 95 times 3.
Yeah, but
let's try this way. You watch 3 shows in about an hour.
Yeah.
That's
23 minutes is the
so an hour.
Yeah.
So you could knock that out in a year. You can catch up in a year.
Yeah, if you're consistent.
The advantage that I see to that is always having something to watch.
Always having semi-content.
When there's something not on Netflix or not on Hulu or whatever, I'll just pick up.
And if you don't do subtitles,
you're getting yourself intimidated by the.
I can't keep myself from that. I'll stop after the first 2 weeks.
And if you wanted to speed through it, if you wanted to, like, I'm going to start at the beginning, I'm going to catch up. But I'm going to look up what is filler content that I don't need and just skip all of that. And you can do that. So you can, if anybody is wanting to make the effort to catch up on One Piece, they can.
I'm just curious if Google knows how many filler episodes of One Piece.
I mean, it's a lot, but to me, it's like, I like this sort of the contrast between the tighter short seasons that we're getting with Hulu and Netflix now, and then having something that's just kind of big and bulky that's always there to go and watch when I have time, or the energy.
There's 103 filler episodes.
Oh, so the rest is all like...
So you better catch up.
Yeah, you got work to do.
100.
Start now.
No.
You better get on it, Bowl.
No.
All right.
I was throwing in the towel after season 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, okay?
Which, by the way, I didn't put it in the rundown, but there is they have a Blu-ray set coming out for that.
Yeah,
I think it's season 3.
Speaking of some other Blu-rays are coming out.
What else we got?
Season 1 'cause it's
also coming, if you don't want to watch a 900 episode series, you could watch instead some great movies like Parasite.
Watch that movie.
You should watch that movie.
I hope there's some bonus features on that disc. No? I'm going to wait.
It's I think 1.
I'm going to wait because Parasite, if nothing feels like it, Parasite feels like a Criterion release.
Yep.
So I'm going to wait.
Low end and narrow, high end Criterion.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Next up, we got Terminator: Dark Fate in Blu-ray and 4K.
Yep.
Harriet, Motherless Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Let's Scare Jessica to Death. I'll try to do that with Tina.
Exactly.
Okay, real quick, for Parasite, you have a Fantastic Fest 2019 Q&A that's 20 minutes long.
That's it. Wow.
There's 2 trailers, if you count that.
Edge of the Axe.
I wish I had pre-ordered that. That is a Spanish slasher movie from the 80s that I hear is a lot of fun.
Body Parts.
Body Parts is late 80s, early 90s horror film that's Shop Factory reissue.
All right. The Slumber Party Massacre Limited Edition.
I should have that. I should have that Friday. I pre-ordered that so I can get that good slip.
Cool.
Tammy and the T-Rex.
Okay.
Blu-ray and 4K.
Okay. I have watched Tammy and the T-Rex. Y'all need to watch Tammy and the T-Rex.
All right.
Preferably with booze at midnight.
What?
I'm telling you. I know it sounds like the stupidest movie ever.
Well,
it is. It works so well.
Well,
because it's called Tammy and the T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
So the director's cut, which is the full uncut version, is called Tanny and the T-Rex, even though in the film her name is Tammy.
Oh,
wow.
Well, I think you should buy that 4K.
It is so stupid. It's on Shudder.
Okay.
It is
and also,
so stupid. I was howling with laughter.
Also, Very Bad Things.
Very Bad Things is isn't that Christian Slater, I believe.
I do not know.
It's in that movie. I think it's about a bunch of guys that isn't that the movie about those guys that they go on a bachelor party and accidentally kill a prostitute and try to
I know that movie. Is that the title? I remember the movie, but I don't remember the title.
Yeah, I think
I'm
that's
not
it.
sure, but let me tell you, Paul Walker and Tammy and the T-Rex, he gets mauled by a goddamn lion out of nowhere.
That's awesome.
And then he's fine afterwards. He doesn't even die from it.
Okay.
Steven is right. Yeah, that
I'm
is
just
Very
saying,
Bad
y'all
Things.
need to see it.
That is actually a really good movie.
All right. So comics. We got a quick comic story real quick. Crossovers between Marvel and DC are very rare, but Thor readers recently got a brief glimpse of what happens when occasionally they might collide. Thor 2, which is out today, features a possible Justice League cameo. The new Thor series introduced a brand new villain in the form of the Black Winter, a cosmic plague devouring the universe, and even Galactus can't out-devour it, so Thor and Galactus team up. Thor 2 opens with a glimpse of another universe being consumed by the Black Winter. We see heroes of another Earth rising to battle this foe, including a air quote sun god in a red and blue costume, a air quote god of emerald light, air quote dark god, and other members of quote League of Gods. So
Hey,
yeah,
at least it's not an insult.
if you want a fun little Easter egg, possible crossover cameo, check out Thor
I
issue
have to
2.
say,
I looked at some.
Galactus is one of the villains I relate to the most because all he wants to do is to eat.
He's just hungry.
I'm hungry.
He's
Yeah.
just hungry. Now,
I mean, I wouldn't
I
even
can
call that.
never fault Galactus for anything because
Yeah.
all he wants to do is just.
he's like, I'm just trying to get some dinner.
Yeah.
That's it. So that I am excited for that comic because it's basically buddy cop with Thor and Galactus.
Yeah, it's very cosmic-y, and I like that. It's a new writer. Donny Cates is writing Thor. Jason Aaron wrapped up his years-long Thor run, which is phenomenal. But it is probably going to be neat if this maintains a more cosmic feel for Thor, and I would like to read a bit more of that.
And see, I prefer Thor in the sort of sci-fi cosmic space than I do the fantasy space that he was in for so long.
Yeah.
So this is getting into an area that I really like. And the whole idea of Thor having to deal with the same issues that Silver Surfer dealt with
I think
as
it's
Galactus Herald is fascinating.
I like him in both of those. It's when it's just more just like regular mundane superheroes that it's just kind of like we have other people for that. Thor,
Yeah.
you've got areas that you're good in. Stick with those.
Yep. So I'm excited for this. I'm going to go get it. What else we got?
This week we've got Avengers issue 30. For Marvel, we've got Avengers issue 30, Captain America number 18. Both Captain Marvel and Deadpool have the end issues, which are the line of comics that Marvel does as a theoretical. Here's what the ending story of these characters could be.
Cool.
We've got Immortal Hulk number 30, and I believe Conan the Barbarian issue 12, which is also another ending run for Jason Aaron, is this week. Also from DC, we've got Action Comics number 1019, Flash number 87, Dial H for Hero number 11 of 12, Justice League number 39, and Justice League Dark number 19. And other books, we've got Go-Go Power Rangers number 28, Kiss Zombies number 3, it is the band.
That's hilarious.
Red Sonja and Vampirella meet Betty and Veronica number 8. Sex Criminals is back with number 26. And
that was your feature choice for the comics this week.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 102. Yeah, Sex Criminals had a pretty long hiatus, about a year or so.
Yep.
It's Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky put it on, and it's a hilariously fun book. Yeah. So I'm glad it's the last arc, so we know the ending is in sight.
What else is Matt Fraction doing right now? I mean,
he's got a book over at DC. He's doing the Maxi series, the 12-issue limited run of Jimmy Olsen, which I hear is really good. I'm just going to wait for it to wrap. And then I think he's doing some other stuff, but those are mostly it.
I feel like DC right now has all the best writers.
Marvel's got definitely some good writers, but DC definitely stole some of the...
Yeah, like they've got Matt Fraction. They still have Bendis, right?
Bendis is still there, although his Superman run goes back and forth on when people like it or not, especially since...
I feel like Superman's a hard character to write well.
Oh, especially since he also revealed the identity bit. Mm-hmm. I did like in the immediate next issue of Superman, Perry Olsen just immediately fires Clark Kent.
Oh, because he knows who he is now? Or whatever?
Well, it's because every story that you've done about Superman has been about yourself. There's no way I could ethically keep you on as a journalist. You have to be fired. It wasn't even an angry thing. It's like, I have to fire you.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't even consider that aspect of that character. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. All right. Well, what else you guys got to say?
I'm tired and full.
I am really full of food.
Yep.
Because we got fed before the show. It was really
we
good.
did.
Where do we find you on the internet?
You can find me on... Well, first, if you want more comics, check out Culturesmash.tv.
Yep, they're all up there.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under Nico Scream, mostly talking about D&D stuff. And yeah, that's it.
You can find me on both Instagram and Twitter at CheddarPopper, CheddarPoppr, especially if you're wanting to know what I'm reading and what I'm watching. I am doing the Pop Sugar 2020 Reading Challenge, 50 books. Plus, I've started a book club, and I am doing the stupid challenge of pushing 100, where I see 100 movies in theaters. I am not doing hard mode because, unlike Steven, I have a little bit of brain power left.
Lame. Zach?
Oh, you can find me on Instagram. I am Master of the Matrix 91. You can also find me on Steam and Twitch if I ever decide to get streaming as a dangerous mute lunatic. I've recently bought Plague Inc. because it was on sale, and I bought Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy, and then 5 minutes later, I returned Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy.
I don't even know what that is.
I refunded it. It is a game designed to piss you off.
Oh, that's what you have me for. That's my job.
But it's like, I like a hard game that is fair. Like Cuphead. It's a hard game. It's 100% fair, though. When you die, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Getting Over it with Bennett Foddy is, I'm going to give you bad controls and make it unreasonably difficult. Just to see you get mad.
Okay, well, I would kind of like to watch you play that game.
It looks easy, and then you get the controls, you're like, oh, well, this is why everyone sucks at it, is because these are bad. The point is, I got my money back.
Okay.
I want to play that game where you scream and that's what moves the chicken.
Moves the chicken?
And you have to scream in order for it to jump, like, la la la.
I don't know what this is.
Heard of this.
I don't know what this is either. But I would watch you play it. So you can find me at all things Culture Smash, mostly culturesmash.tv and our Facebook page. And find me at Off the Shelf Movie Night on Instagram. It's OTS Movie Night, and on YouTube. YouTube had to send me a little congratulation email yesterday for my 4,000th view on there. My tiny little show, yeah. So go over there and check it out. We got Terminator, and I don't know, I got some other Paramount stuff. I guess that'll bring us to the end.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see you by next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.